Welcome back to the channel. This is Anne, and this is Iron Sharpens Iron Council, a ministry dedicated to uplift humanity. Every time, I tell you, I gotta learn that one little line. Next time, won't you say the intro? It's on you next time. Okay, so we are back.
What you need to do is get a little wire that goes up behind you and plugs into your ear. You can play it on your phone, and you can just repeat it as it plays off your phone or something. I don't know.
Well, they have, we're living in the age of technology, so there is an actual teeny tiny teleprompter that I could get from Amazon for the cell phone.
Oh wow, really?
But I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices and variety, so I couldn't, pull the trigger and make a decision on it because I was like, first of all, you exist, and now you have about 500 options. So I got to decide on which one I want to do, which one I want to go with.
Got you.
Yeah, but anyway, so we're back, and I just convinced Jamie to go into a discussion about relationships. And, I was saying off camera, I don't have any relationship advice. I am not deluded into believing that I can help anyone else because it's about my journey. It's about where I've been and, what I'm going through. And right now, I'm single, but I'm not ready to mingle. And so, because, Jamie, as I told you many, many times, I am in a place where I am happy to be by myself. A lot of people automatically think, oh, you're single, you must be lonely. No, single does not equal lonely. Single just means you're alone, but lonely I am not. And so, so I just wanted Jamie to kind of talk about where we both are. You are married. You have a life partner. I used to be married, and I had a life partner, and then that ended, and I will admit that I had a divorce party because I was just because it's ending doesn't mean I can't celebrate the ending if that's what I wanted, right? Mm. So just like I was happy at celebrating the joining, I could celebrate. There's nothing wrong in my opinion, in celebrating the separation and the divorce and all that. I was happy to be getting a divorce. I was happy to be not necessarily. It wasn't necessarily about that. It was about me coming into who I am, more. So I was celebrating that. I was celebrating, my independence and all that, all positive. It wasn't nothing disparaging about the marriage, about the man and all of that. No, none of that. So as we all grow through our dating life, you grow up. I was, single for a period. I dated. Not a lot, but I dated, right? And then got married, and then I was single, and then I was in a relationship. After I was divorced, I had 2 serious relationships, 2 long-term serious relationships, and that both lasted like, I don't know, I think it was like 8 years, 10 years apiece. So I'm very committed, right? So right now I'm just kind of enjoying, being single. So that's on, I don't really, receive any of the invitations to, get into anything because I'm just not in that place right now, mentally speaking. I'm just enjoying life and enjoying by myself. And do I want to? A good question is, do I ever want to get married again? I don't know, but I don't think so. Honestly, I don't know, but I'm leaning towards no. but you never know what the future holds for you. So anyway, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, you know, so relationships. So I've been through a lot of them in my lifetime, but I would kind of like you when I get in them, I try to stick with them. But being a less knowledgeable person than I am now, I wasn't always probably the best um, partner. I mean, the situations, I lived with inside of egotistical spheres of my own mind, and just and I have views on relationships and the idea of being um, in a committed relationship. I
Okay,
don't, I,
for you, Amy.
hmm?
For you, my question to you. Okay, now that you are married,
Mm-hmm.
and you obviously had a period before you were married, which life do you like better? Do you like being married? Do you like that better? Is that working for you? Where is that for you?
I mean, my mate that I'm in a union with, I enjoy her company. She's one of the only people who will really let me be who I am without trying to restrict me too much, for her comfort. You
I
know,
like
um,
that.
so the thing is, if me and my mate were to disjoin our union, um, I get married again? I don't think I probably would. I don't even know if I would probably even be in a relationship with anybody in that type of fashion because, um,
Oh,
from I my views on these seriously because you have animals other than humans that get together for life and join in that type of way, but I don't really necessarily see that humans were particularly that way because I'm under the firm belief that um, humans
that
are
we're not meant to be in long-term committed relationships
um
as a species.
um so it's like if we have our like I say it's I don't think that humans are necessary social creatures. Let's per se say that. I don't think we were really meant to live in these big communities like we do. I think after we fell in our our ways, we did that for safety reasons and because we were scared and we didn't understand things. So we huddled together in communities and things like that and also to exploit the situation, have others do more work than others. But if you read old ancient philosophy, it tells you that humans would live. You could hear the crow of your neighbor's rooster, but you may never see your neighbor your whole life. So humans didn't really interact the way we interact now. I think that living in these societies and doing some of the things that do contribute to the ills of society, to the human species. Um,
Well, the
just like
marriage construct it's invented. I get
right,
that. It was
right.
definitely perpetuated on us for the commercial value that, let's just be real, right?
Well,
And
that
they make money off of it.
well, yeah, and they have all their legal traps with the marriage license. So I don't like to say that
Exactly.
I'm married. I unfortunately, before I knew a lot that I know now, I did get that contract, but I didn't get full disclosure with it, so it's a void contract anyway. But and I'm pretty sure it's unilateral contract in any way.
Oh
So,
yeah, lack of full
so
disclosure.
yeah, um,
Uh,
I mean, I did
but
that.
I was trying to separate from all that, um,
Oh, well, yeah, well,
right, the contractual part about it and the commercial
yeah.
aspect. But I wanted to talk about,
Right. No, I was just bringing it up because it just popped in my mind. But I know
yeah,
where you're going with it. So, like I was saying, I like
yeah.
if you view what our closest relative is. So, according to uh modern science, to say it in a polite way, that that if you look at the gorilla doesn't, he has this, the male gorilla has his harem, you know what I mean, and he doesn't, and there's that type of scenario, and then you look at other chimpanzees, they live in a different type of way. So, science tries to say, oh, those are our ancestors, and we try to do. I don't really believe that we evolved from apes or any
Well,
nonsense.
I get that you're very abstract and you're very philosophical, but I want to get to you and the
Yeah, that's
human
what I'm
side of
saying. So the human side, and that, well, me being philosophical is because, I mean, human. The word man means mind, so we're of the mind. So that's why we're called mankind, because we're
No, I want to keep it very
right.
personal and very intimate
Oh,
to
well, yeah,
your individual journey in this space. So you have had relationships
of
and
course,
you are now married, and
yes.
I want to know more about that, that way of thinking in terms of,
Well,
you're
so
committed.
just because I've had my views of how humans are supposed to be and things like that, and this is what I was getting to. I might be a little
Okay.
long-winded about it, but
Yeah, and
but
we
but the
agreed it was going to
fact,
be a
the
short
10
video.
5 minutes, right? So the thing is, though, but I've made a commitment, right? And
Yes,
um, so if I make the
that's the
commitment,
key right there, the
yeah,
commitment.
so I
The
made a
conscious
commitment,
decision to make that commitment.
right? So I made a commitment, so I will honor my commitment,
Ah,
as and I'm human, so I've had my faults, I've made my mistakes through
I
my
really
relation or through my
good.
relationship and my marriage, my union, I'm sorry, with my mate. um so, but the thing is that when you make a commitment, and when you take on something, you should see it through to its end and accept any consequences that came out of it, because you made that decision on your own, and there's
So,
no one to blame, but you not even know, you don't even blame yourself, but if you make a decision, you have to live with what that decision comes with, the good, the bad. And so, um,
I
you
made
know,
um I made a conscious decision that when I am in um a relationship, that I'm gonna always honor that that commitment. But in order to honor that commitment, I have to know what I'm getting into, right? And we have to discuss it, and we have to come to an agreement and have that meeting of the mind, okay? And I am 50 and proud. I always say 50 and fabulous. I don't mean it in a conceited way. I just mean it in a way that I'm proud of who I am and where I am, because I've been through a lot of changes and and grown in my knowledge base, right? So when I think about the idea of entering into a commitment in terms of a relationship, I'm like, I need to specify what it is that I want, what it is that I expect, and what you can expect from me. Okay? I don't do um, I call it I don't do I mean, I'm all about that, flirting and all that, but, you get one time, guys. You get one time before you start getting on my nerves, and it's not that I don't receive it. It's just that it sounds fake a lot of the time. I can't, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I kind of like heard it all before, and it just sounds superficial and phony, and I just don't like it, and I call it the lovey-dovey. What I call it, Jamie. I was like, oh gosh, here comes this dude with the lovey-dovey crap, and it really does sound fake to me. It doesn't sound sincere. I had,
That's that's TV and music and things that put this idea of how
yeah,
things should go down when you
yeah.
talk to
But
a girl.
how can you approach someone with heavy stuff like "I want you in my life" when you've only been talking for a hot second?
Well, I mean,
Like that's crazy.
well,
You gotta
no,
get to know me to know what you like. You don't even know me talking about that stuff. That's crazy.
well, I know people who met one time and got married and been together for
Oh, I
years.
believe in love
And
at first sight too. I do. I believe I do. It
so,
exists.
so I mean, sometimes guys get a vibe and they're just like, yo, this is the type of chick that, I mean, and I mean, I could actually, contest that maybe it could be that way because, I felt that way about people before. Like, yo, you meet somebody, you talk, and be like, yo, this is somebody I could see myself with. So, and some people are just a little more forward than others. Others might wait to tell you something like that, even though they might be thinking that from the moment they met you. But some people were just very loose with how they think, and they're just like, hey, I could see myself with you. Now, that doesn't mean that you guys are gonna last forever or anything, but that's the vibe they get from when they're dealing with you. So I mean, and everything should be off of vibrations, like I told you, like from your intuition.
Absolutely. It's
So
a
it's,
vibe. It's
yeah,
definitely, and I appreciate, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the fellas who are confident and know what they want and willing to give it a shot. But don't catch no attitude when, you know, somebody rejects your advances in that regard because,
yeah. I mean,
it's what it
guys
is.
do. Well, guys are very prideful normally, and most don't have any type of self-refinement. So, I see dudes when they get rejected by a girl, they're just trying to holler and they'll say stuff like, "I didn't want you no way," or "You're
That's
ugly
the first
anyway."
thing
Like,
they say.
you're like, yo, well, hold on, you were just trying to holler at her, so obviously you didn't feel that way. And, they'll say dumb shit like, "Well, I was just trying to knock it off," or whatever their ego allows them to say. But most guys aren't talking to somebody that they don't think is attractive or doesn't.
Exactly. So
So,
we see through the phony baloney because the ego is hurt. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly. And so, but I mean, a lot of girls also do, they could have a more, more, what's the word I'm looking for? More couth or more, a diplomatic way of, you know, telling the dude that she
Yeah,
doesn't
letting them
want him
down
there,
gently.
right? So that the ego doesn't kick in. But a lot of
Yeah.
girls would say some slick stuff to them when they're being hollered at, which only, you know, agitates the ego for egotistical response. So, I think it goes hand in hand with the way the situation
Yeah,
is
yeah,
handled.
you can handle
So,
it gently. There
yeah,
are gentler ways
yeah,
that people can handle. And I believe that I handle things gently. I do. But there are times when I do that and dude's just not getting the message, and then I have to amp it up, a little bit because and be more direct because
well,
you know,
yeah,
not getting
then
them that I'm not interested.
yeah, but some guys are like, all right, I tried, I got this time, but I really, I really want to.
Try again.
Yeah, try again. You got to give them credit for getting back up on the horse and trying. After they
Oh,
fall
I do.
off. So
I appreciate the
but
confident
it's
man.
it's
I do.
it's the ones that are ignorant about the shit that come at you on like some
Yeah. Well,
uh
I just wanted to just share with you and the rest of the world, whoever wants to listen to this, that the way to impress me, I can't speak, I don't dare speak for all women, but the way to I guess get my attention if you want it, if you're interested in it, you have to try to get to know me and what's in my heart, what makes my heart smile. It's really just that simple. I don't have like a recipe or a way or a secret. Just you know, get to know me. And then the number one rule for me moving forward is with any man in the future is we have to be friends. I gotta see you in your natural habitat. I gotta see how you treat people, like for real. I gotta see, I gotta see how you operate and treat me as a friend and treat other people as a friend, and how you respect people, men, women, family, acquaintances, associates, just being around, just your nature, your way of being. And the only way that I can get to know you is being a friend. But if I just meet you and you just trying to get into a romantic relationship, you bypass that friendship phase. And I think, to me, that's super important.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, because me and my wife, we started off just as
As
uh,
friends.
as friends, talking on the phone,
Yeah.
and things grew from there, and
Yeah.
I think it helped our relationship in a lot of our our relation. I don't like to use anything with the word ship on it, but
I got you. But
relationship. You know what I'm driving at, though, that
yeah.
it was a fundamental piece that we were friends ahead of time, and we got to know each other, and we weren't in the same physical location, so it couldn't get ramped up to a situation
Yeah.
you know hormones or other things kick in.
Yeah. Knocking boots all
Yeah,
do within a
right,
week.
right, exactly. So it wasn't. So we had that time to get to know each other without any type of,
Yeah.
and we fell into love with each other for who we were, because we weren't in a physical location, and we weren't just friends. We were just friends in the beginning, and so
The, the
it
friend
grew.
the friendship was the foundation and the bedrock.
Right, the physical aspect was removed, so it's not like, oh, some people are like, oh, I love him because they had a good night, and sometimes that can make people think they're in love, or make them feel certain things because of a
Tell you.
physical interaction. So we didn't
That
have.
will that does nothing but confuse the situation even further.
Yeah,
If
and
you,
it
if you
does.
jump if you jump into bed with each other very, very quickly because you can't control yourself, and you're just like, oh, I gotta have that right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
and that it just confuses, because now you're into something and with someone that you barely even know,
yep,
and then expectations are high.
yep.
I'll tell you the truth. Expectations are very, very high. You know,
So yeah, so that's what
I sleep with you, and you want to act crazy. Oh no, it's not good. It's not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well, because I don't do I don't do that with just every and anybody. And if I choose to do that with you, and you want to act like you don't know me the next day, oh no, partner,
Yeah, so
you're the wrong one.
I think that's why we've lasted so long, is because we had that. We got to know each other and fall in love with each other
Yeah.
without any physical um, manipulation in the situation. So
And
that's
your emotions weren't tested,
right.
very
Yeah,
early on with that. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm telling you,
exactly.
it's something to be said about the patients. I mean, I get it that strong physical attraction. I've been there. I get it, but I've just come to the point in my life where I can control myself. I have that self control. Yes, when you're by yourself and you have urges and you have needs, we all have urges and we all have needs, but you're not an animal. You can control yourself, and I control myself. And
Exactly.
I just know what's more important.
Right, and that's that same ideology that you use towards relationships is the same ideology you should use towards food. Just because something looks good and tastes good doesn't
It
mean
may
you
not
have to
be good
live
for
in,
you.
and you shouldn't act on it just because you might get some sort of fast instant gratification out of the situation. You got to look at the long term implications of what you're about to do, and that comes to food, that comes to relationships.
Yeah. And I've always been very patient and take my time with contemplating, important decisions. I've never been just a fool to, rush into anything, anything, especially dealing with men and relationship. I never just was one to just jump into bed with anyone or even jump into a relationship with anyone. So with time, as I got older and I got more experience with life and just watching my friends and family members, with their relationship, you live, you learn, you glean and you pivot and you adjust, and that's, nothing special or magical there. I just know what works for me is to build a relationship on a solid foundation of friendship. So when, a dude that I'm literally just meeting is automatically going into that romantic zone.
Yeah, it kind of tells you. Yeah, it kind of tells you where he's going from the beginning. Cause
yeah, I get turned off real easy because I'm like, you only know me. How
right.
you know you want me in your life? How you know? I just know. Let's be friends. Get to know my mind. Get to know how I work, how I operate, how I think, what's important to me, what I like to do, what I don't like to do, and then I do the same, and then we kind of like go from there. It's just that simple for me. But you come in with the baby, please, baby, please. I can't.
I will give, so before we end this video, I'll give two pieces of advice. That you need to not you, but people in general need to have compromise and be able to accept. You got to be able to weigh the good with the bad. If the good outweigh the bad, then just because there are some bad things doesn't mean that you should jump ship right away, because there's certain aspects that you don't like about the person, because the next person you get into a relationship might, those aspects that you didn't like in one may be okay with the next one, but then that other person is going to have things that you don't like about them also. So if it's always about trying to find the greener grass, then you're just going to always be hopping fences to try and find that greener grass. So sometimes you got to sit back and say, okay, let's weigh the good against the bad here. Like,
absolutely. Because I'm gonna tell you this. This might be a secret that I'm letting out. Just because you come across in a manner that kind of turned me off initially, that doesn't mean that you're like permanently in that friend zone. You can change things. I could start to develop, an interest over time, because that's just human nature. When you around someone and you start seeing, qualities in that person that you like, it comes, naturally, and yes, I do want to be in a couple relationship, but I'm not in any hurry to do it. I'm not desperate. I'm not lonely. I'm happily single, and if something happens, naturally, then I'm all for it, and I actually do desire to be in a relationship, not necessarily a marriage. See, that's a whole nother dynamic, but I am interested in being in a relationship, but I'm perfectly fine. No, I'm beyond fine. I am beyond happy to be single, so I'm not really trying to lose that too quickly. But I'm willing to compromise for the right, relationship.
Right relationship.
I'm open to it, definitely.
Well, then the only other thing that I suggest is that before you go off and get married to somebody, that you live with the person before you.
I like that idea.
When people, but I mean, some people are like, well, because the thing,
you don't really know them until you live with them.
Right, exactly. I mean, there's things that you don't see when you're not living with somebody, but then when you're living with them, you get to see every aspect.
All of it,
Right.
everything.
So it's best to live with somebody before you marry them, because you could be in a perfect relationship. You all have your own places, but when you come over, he's gonna clean up and make the spot look good because you're coming over. But if he might be just a general
Right.
overall.
Yeah, compatibility
Right.
across the board.
Right. So you
Everything.
need to check the compatibility more thoroughly through. I'm not saying as soon as you meet somebody go move in with them, but what I'm saying
No,
is,
right.
if
No.
if before you take that step, you should at least spend a year, 2 or so living with that person to really get to know them. You might think you know them, but you don't really know them until you live with them. So my two piece of advice is compromise, be willing to put yourself not on the back burner per se, because you don't want to let somebody not overshadow or put yourself on the back burner is really bad terminology, because I just don't know the best terminology at this time for it. But it's like you don't you got to be willing to give up some things also to make
You have to compromise, and that's why you made me think about the fact that even though I'm leaning towards not getting married, there's a certain type that I am willing to enter into without the state being involved, right? Without a marriage license from the state. Mm-hmm. I am more than happy to enter a common law marriage where you and I, me and the the man, we enter, into a written contract that we agree on without the state marriage license. So that's common law. And but I want it written down. I want a written contract. That's what I want.
See, I'd be the opposite on that. Like
you don't want to write it down?
No, because to me that's it's unnatural. You know what I mean?
Well, I get that, but it's not going to be like, oh, you got to do this. No. It's it's almost like wedding vows. You know what I'm saying? It's like that wedding, like a wedding vow. So it's not no hard and fast contract that you got to stick to this and you got to stick to that. A lot of people call it a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you're talking about a prenup? Or something?
Yeah, I mean it's. See, I'm not even comfortable with calling it that, but it may be closely related to that. But it's more, to me, in my mind, I'm thinking that it's more closer to like wedding vows. I promise to love, honor, and cherish.
Well, I think, see, those things, I think that, I see, that's what I'm saying.
It's not a list of 50 things. Don't conjure that in your mind. It's just love, honor, cherish.
Right, but that should be established through action.
Yeah, but I like the idea of having a written contract that replaces the state marriage license. I'm in love with the idea of something contractual between me and that love interest. I want to have something that we can hold each other accountable to. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It's just about me. It's just about him. That's it. I like that idea, but we could talk about it. I'm not like, dead set on it. I'm just, brainstorming, just right now.
That's the difference between, see, that also stems to my whole thing on like, law that we'll have a talk about sometime, is that paperwork is not my.
I get the whole paperwork. It's not paperwork though. It's just a wedding vow. I just want some kind of a commitment. I don't know. Listen, viewers, help me out here. I don't have the words to appropriately convey to Jamie, but I know
what you mean. I know what you're trying to say, but my thing again is I always speak from my truth and what I see. So
absolutely.
To me, it's like before you even think about getting married to somebody, all those things should be unspoken anyway. And so,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you should be on one accord anyway. But I
right,
also
exactly,
want that unspoken. I want those unspoken things,
on paper.
memorialized on a like. I mean, it's gonna be like on fancy, paper and like a certificate that I could hang on the wall that I could look and just sort of contemplate. I'm very sentimental when it comes to certain things, so I'm just saying I want to
I
be
mean,
able to.
I'm sentimental too. Like I
Yeah,
keep movie ticket stubs, but my thing is like,
you're not gonna change my mind.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, like when you look at when you see two lovebirds in the wild that mate for life, you don't see no little plaque in their
I know, but I want
you
my
have
plaque.
a
I want
transactional.
my plaque. I don't care.
Okay.
I just
Uh,
want, I want something outside of us that we can agree on to put on the wall somewhere, dedicated to that special moment. It's more along, it's less along the lines of, the um, um, prenup, but it's more along the lines of wedding vow. That's all. I just,
okay.
some people have that. Some couples do have that. I've seen it,
I do.
and
I
I
do.
like
I mean, we wrote our own vows, and I still have my wife's vows in my wallet, so I understand that.
Oh, see?
But you know, it was already on paper already by that time. But I also didn't think like I do now when those things took place. So if I was
Uh,
to do, if it was today, I would probably do things in a much different
oh,
type of way.
you wouldn't have written
Uh,
your wedding vows?
Well, probably wouldn't even have the big ceremony that we had and did all the nonsense that we did. I definitely wouldn't have done anything through the state itself like I
Well,
did.
right,
So,
because
so
you know
yeah.
better.
So there's certain things, and I didn't believe in. I mean, I got married with a preacher, but I didn't believe in God or any of that nonsense. I did that because of what my wife believed in at the time, and it
At the
appeased
time,
her.
right? At the time,
So
you
that's
do
where
what is
compromise
best at
came
the
in.
time. That's
Right.
all.
Right, so that's where compromise came in. I didn't do the church thing. I didn't care about that. I didn't agree with any of that crap. But because it appeased my wife and is what she wanted, and the
Yeah,
day the day is more for her anyway. The marriage, the
yeah.
day of union. So, you know, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but I
I
definitely
yeah,
want some type of sentimental trinket like that, and that's just my idea. I don't know if I'll still feel that way a year from now, but as
yeah.
of right now, as of today, this moment in time,
Well, see,
that's how I feel.
the only thing I'll say to you is say those like what I'm saying is those things are supposed to be in here. You can always recall it because and the thing is like so say you get this little trinket made and you stick it up on your wall and it's there and then your house burns down. Now that trinket's gone, but they can't burn what's in here. So I keep everything in here and in my heart so that it can never be taken away from me any type of way. And that's the way I would see it going if I knew what I
I
knew
I
now.
get it. You have to do what makes you smile, what makes you
Right.
happy.
Yeah.
That's what's
True.
gonna make me smile. And if the house burned down and I lose that one certificate, I will just replace it. I'll recreate it.
Okay.
I'll have it recreated. It's not a big deal. Like it's not the plaque itself. It's just the idea of where the plaque came from, the
Gotcha.
source of it.
Exactly. Right here, right?
Yeah, but I can't see my. I'm done. I can't see that. I want to. I literally want a visual representation. That's all I'm saying.
Can I just ask you one more question about that since we're talking about it?
Jamie.
So hold on, but let me ask you a question. So in your mind right now, you can hear yourself say jump, and you can visualize things in your mind, so you don't need the byproduct of it. So like when a painter paints a
I
picture,
didn't say I
he does
needed it.
he
I said
doesn't.
I wanted it. It's a difference.
Okay, okay, I will agree with you on that. It's different. You
I
don't
never said I
you
needed
don't
it. I
need it.
don't need it. I know
Oh,
that.
okay. And
Consciously,
I
I'm
stand
very aware.
I stand corrected because you're right. A want is much different than a need. And what I'm saying is you
Yeah.
don't need it, but if you
No,
want it,
I know I don't need it.
then
I don't
then
need anything,
then, then
of
you're
the
good.
sort. I just want it because I want it. I have that right.
You do.
I want it, and I'm not trying to justify what I want. I just want it because I like it. I like the color blue. I like the color red. I just like it. I don't need red things. I don't need blue things. I just like them, and I want them because I like them. It's just that simple.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Super simple.
But going back to the whole, I just felt the need to address the whole, relationship thing, so that in the hopes that in the future, men who feel like they want to, try and holler, oh, I'm all for, hey, exercise your free will. I'm not gonna get in your way, but if you really want to get my attention, let me be your friend first. I know it might sound like super corny, but I'm just letting you know, you come with all that, strong touch, romantic, lovey-dovey, I'm going to be immediately shut down. Immediately. Because I got to get to know you, and you come with all that, I'm looking at you like, why are you so thirsty? Why are you so hungry? What's going on?
Yeah, you gotta know your prey. So when a hunter hunts a certain animal or does something like that. Not that I condone or agree with any of that. I'm just using it as as a simile or an allegory to what I'm trying to say. But you have to know your prey, and most prey don't say what they like. So at least you're giving the potential hunters out there for you something to work off of to understand how to capture the Anne.
Well, I don't like that allegory because I don't want to be related to being prey. I'm not prey, and I don't prey on men. But I just want them to know, because I get a lot of foolishness, let's just say. I get a lot of attention. Oh, and you look good, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, honestly, I had nothing to do with the way that I, look. Nothing. Don't have any control in that. So if that's all you see, then you need to see me in a deeper way, and then that's how you kind of get my attention. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to explain.
Well, I'll say this.
Attraction thing, I'm so far removed from that it's almost become a hindrance to you getting to know me, because if that's all you see and that's all you can compliment me on, how about you compliment me on my brain and my mind and how my accomplishments and my goals and my dreams.
This is what I used to tell my wife, okay? So
yeah.
It's like this. When you first see someone or first meet somebody, you don't know their inner self. The first thing you see is their exterior. Now, there's a reason why certain people are attracted to certain people, is because that is innate in our nature. Now, we do let it, we do
dictate
we overindulge in everything. So even that, but as I told her, like, I wouldn't have been with her if I didn't think she was, if I was not attracted to her, I wouldn't be with her.
No, I get that.
That's the first thing that you see.
Thing, right. The first thing is the physical attraction. I get that. But if you just stay stuck on that, and you don't move on,
you got to give him time. You got to give him time. He hollered at you. He said, "Hey, you're beautiful." You
got one time. You got. You got one time. Okay.
But if you shut him down before he says, "Hey,"
I don't shut down. I don't shut people down. I let them say and do whatever they're gonna say. I shut down, because after the one time, I don't even hear it anymore. I appreciate the compliment. Move the hell on.
Right. So
I appreciate the compliment. Every woman, every man too. We are, we like compliments. Who wouldn't? And I appreciate them, as much as the next woman does. But if you stay stuck on the physical, listen. Okay. I'm not after the first compliment. I don't even hear the second one, because I already moved on. I'm like, thank you. Okay. Oh, you still on that? I have moved on. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I get I get what you said, and
Yeah.
I
Like
understand.
it's time to talk about what I said out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So
Well,
ideas, dreams, visions, plans.
well, yeah. So I mean, it's got to be a balance of both, because I mean, the first thing they're gonna see is a person sees is their exterior. Then
The physical, I get it. But one
that's
compliment and then that's okay. If you see me for the first time every day and you appreciate what I'm wearing or how I'm looking or whatever vibe, say it and move on. Don't
that's
harp on it. Don't
I
harp
got
on
you.
it. And see, that's what men, could learn a thing or two, at least specifically about me, because I don't even want to pretend that I represent all, single women, right? I'm just talking about me. And if it resonates with with your experience, man or woman out there watching, then it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I can only speak from my experience and from what I like and what I don't like. I'm just saying I get the physical attraction. I get, physical attracted to people all the time, but I don't stay there on the physical realm. I want to get to know what's in that person's mind. Of course, the first thing initially is physical, because we're physical creatures. We have two eyes to see, and you see something you like, you know, but don't just, what I'm saying is, don't just stay right there thinking that that's the way to my heart, because it's really, really not. It's really the opposite.
Yeah. I get you. It's just society pushes and most women today want that a type of attention, and you see it
Yeah,
on
and
TV.
see, and that's another thing that because so many women kind of like accept that and receive that it puts a bad name on the ones who don't like it, the women who
Exactly.
don't like it. And so, if a man has been, warmly, received, accepted by that kind of behavior from him, he expects it from every woman. And I've had that, like, oh my gosh, you're, you know, a woman who's not desperate. Yeah, we exist like unicorns. We're not. I'm not desperate. I'm single, but single does not necessarily mean ready to mingle all the time. In fact, I'm opposite of ready to mingle. I'm good. I'm in a good place mentally speaking, emotionally speaking, even financially speaking. I'm not ever in a mindset of I need a man to make me feel good. I need a man to make me feel whole. I don't need. I want. Two whole, completely different concepts.
Yep, just like your
I
certificate.
want. Huh?
Just like your certificate. You don't need it, but you want it. But I got you. I got you.
Ah, you buddy. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship. When I'm ready to be in a relationship, and when I meet that right man that make me want to give up my singleness. I really I embrace it. I used to be like, oh man, you single? No, I don't cross over. I'm happy being single. I'm good. I'm in a very good place, spiritually speaking and all that. But eventually I do see myself in a relationship, and I like that, because there are certain things that being single doesn't satisfy. Like you always have, if you're in a relationship, and you should know this, you're married, when you have that special bond with someone, you can run to that person and share, your deepest, darkest, secrets, and I don't have that. That's the only thing I don't miss. That's the only thing that I do miss. I'm sorry. That's the only thing that I do miss. Like I want that special, bond with that one, other, with that partner. That's the only thing that if you want to say, what do you miss? That would be it. But Yeah, y'all keep all the other stuff, the arguing, the bickering, and sometimes even certain times I don't feel like compromise. I'm pretty spoiled because I like being by myself. I make all my decisions by myself. I don't have to check in with somebody else, see how they feel, what they want to do. It's like you get spoiled in that independence, and I would have to kind of readjust and reacclimate to being in a partnership all over again because I've been single and enjoying being single for so long that I would be giving that up. That's a thing of value to me that I would be giving up. And that man better be damn worth it. He better be worth it. He better be ready for all this because yeah, I give my all, I better receive all. I used to have to explain to one of my exes, because he never got this, and let me tell you this real quick story, Jamie, because I want to know if you get it. Okay, so the concept is, if I give 100%, he should give 100%, and he's like, nah, it's 50-50. I'm like, no. He's like, he never understood what I meant by each partner gives 100% and 100%, and together it's you feel cherished and loved and respected and valued. And he was stuck on he was literally stuck on the number thing. How can, isn't 50-50? On 100, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, you can't give me 50% of you. You have to give me 100% of you because I'm giving 100% of me. So is that a strange concept to you, or am I crazy? Like, I'm just trying to understand.
No. I mean, you're giving 100% of yourself, and he's giving 100% of himself, but in the relationship, it's 50-50 because the relationships is two. So really, the 100 does equal 50 because.
Yeah, but that's the hard fast number. But I'm not talking about. Okay, I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is that you're giving 100% of yourself. He's giving 100% of himself. But when it comes to the relationship, because you giving 100% of yourself has only solely to do with you. Him giving.
Hold on. We have to pause. All right, we're back. We had to take a short break, but go ahead.
Okay, so what I was saying is I completely agree with you because if you see when you're giving 100% of yourself, that is solely yourself. If he's giving 100% of himself, that's solely himself, but you're meeting 50-50 in the middle. So it's still 50-50 even though you guys are still giving 100% because it can't be 50-50 if you're both not giving 100% of yourself.
Ah, right. Right. His 50 and my 50 are both 100%.
Right, exactly. Because you can't give 50% of yourself and then 50% of something else. If you're giving 50% and he's giving 50% of your individual selves, that's actually really 25% of the whole relationship.
Exactly. And then the other concept that he couldn't quite grasp was, I put you first and you put me first. He's like, how can we both put each other first? How come somebody got to be first? And I'm like,
well, see.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it.
Either he is, I understand he's your ex. Just
say ex. I don't even want to give him any more weight other than.
But to me, that sounds like either a very childish argument that he's just trying to use to make an excuse, or he was just really mentally slow. I'm sorry. Is either he's using it as an excuse to make it seem like what he was doing, other than what he should be doing, was right.
That was so immature. I just could not believe that. I to this day I cannot believe that he really feels that way. It has to be some foolish.
He can't.
Jedi mind trick.
He has to. Yeah, he was trying to pull some Jedi mind trick stuff on you. There's no way a grown adult cannot grasp that.
Cannot grasp that. How can both people put each other? How can one person has to? Well, I can't even remember his foolish, argument, because I said, you put me first and I put you first, and we'll be just fine.
Right, exactly.
And he kept saying, no, 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 you can't, it's not going to work because somebody is always first.
No.
Well,
That's the point in a relationship. No one's first. Both of you
right,
are first because
right,
it's equal on both sides of the
right,
equation. So,
right.
yeah.
And
So,
so,
yeah.
yeah, so, you know, I just kind of, wanted to touch on that because I'm getting a lot of, private messages on, with guys expressing their interest in, in me romantically and stuff like that. And that's all good, well, and fine. And I receive it, but it's kind of like neither here nor there for me. I want to know how you going to, how you going to pivot from that? Okay, are you going to just stay stuck on that and you got to kind of, are we going to be friends or what, so I just wanted to come out and address it. I just felt the need because I just wanted to kind of stop.
Yep, I hear you. So this is a good disclaimer
Just stopping.
it's a good disclaimer to people who are trying to approach you on any type of
Yeah. Yeah,
aspect.
because Jamie hears it all the time privately. I tell you, I'm like, Jamie, this dude right. I really, I talk about it privately because it's funny to me. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And, holla all you want, but I ain't hearing you.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you.
yeah. So, but anyway, thank you. We'll revisit this, and you guys, who are listening, comment, and comment down below, and let us know, what relationships issues that you have overcome. I want to hear that for the single people and for the married people. Let's talk about it.
You know what we could also do? Well, a good one would be to talk about how, especially when we go into the law type of things, how it is to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't fully agree with your stances on what you're doing when it comes to these things. I think that's an interesting topic that a lot of people probably have to deal with, is that you're into something, but then your mate may not fully understand. They might even think you're a little bit crazy because
Well, that goes back to being equally yoked.
Yeah.
That, I definitely have my desire in a mate to be wide awake to, knowing who he is. I don't have the strength, the time, interest, or energy to pull someone up when I'm already this far, this deep into the knowledge. I want someone, I would prefer someone who, I specifically want someone. It's not even, it's beyond a preference. It's a must. It's a deal breaker. Like, you got to be awake to, knowing the truth of how to operate. And so that is a winner for me.
Yeah, I see.
Because I know the struggle.
I can get that from. Yeah, I can get that from like your standpoint, where now and you're single, so you can have that choice. But then you got people who start out in relationships where both don't know, and then one gains knowledge and the other one doesn't gain knowledge, and then you have that split between the two. And the thing is, like, you made a commitment, so
it's a very hard dynamic. I know.
yeah, like my wife, she doesn't fully understand my stances, but again, she lets me be me and I let her be her. So, she understands somewhat, but then she doesn't understand why some things I just can't let some things ride. You know what I mean? And she doesn't understand that once you let one thing ride, they capitalize off of that, and it could be used against you. So my stance is I let anything ride. So, it's an interesting dynamic, and me and my wife are able to work through it. But then you do have people that I see on Facebook, posting how their spouse doesn't understand this, or they don't understand that, or they lose their wife, or they lose their family because of their stances and things like that. Luckily, I don't have that to worry about unless unless the government has anything to do with it. But the thing is that from her standpoint, I don't have anything to worry about. So I think that would be another topic, not on this topic, because obviously this topic's gone longer than 5 minutes that we allotted for it. So,
we had a lot to say. We had a lot of avenues to explore.
so it'll be cool to pick up this up, like you said, maybe have another talk on this. But
Another talk, yeah. But that's a definite luck of the draw for me, because fortunately there's a lot of single men who are awake, in the pool, in the dating pool. So in that regard, I got lucky because I'm wide awake and I want a man who's wide awake. So, but for the people like you who are already in a relationship, a marriage, a committed relationship, that's a tough one. I don't know. And I just wish you well and hope that things, continue to grow, and you'll be, more equally yoked in terms of her growing into her knowledge too. But at least she's very receptive and not giving you a hard time, because I hear that too.
That's what I'm talking about. The people that have.
Yeah.
I mean.
Very difficult.
I mean, my wife.
I know a lot of married friends who are on the verge of divorce because one is woke, and one is not.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was driving at. Those type of situations. So, yeah, we can have a talk about that sometime.
Yeah, I feel bad for them, but I don't have the answers. I don't know. You just got to talk. You just got to work through that. It's just like any other issue that comes up in a relationship. You just got to work through it.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, well.
Okay, so thank you guys. Sorry we just kept pivoting and rambling. But if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button, and I will, welcome you into the Mastermind, so where we meet at a higher level. There's no one leader, but we are all the leaders. We are all the coach. We coach each other and we build each other up. So I'll have that separate link, because I've been getting, it's not that I'm like all this promotional, whatever. It's just I've been getting a lot of questions, so I'm trying to address it, just publicly. So what was the final thing? Oh, peace, bliss, and peaceful vibes. Be safe, everybody. Bye.
Peace.